Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Val the Realtor, and I'm once again with my daughter, Liberty.
Wait, I feel like we should say, like, I'm Val the Realtor, and then I'll say, like, and I'm Liberty the daughter.
Okay, ready? Hi, I'm Val the Realtor. Welcome back to... Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Val the Realtor.
And I'm Liberty the daughter.
And we're back for a sequel to our last video about buying a townhouse for this lovely lady. And we're competing again, so stay tuned. We've got a fun story for you that takes a lot of twists and turns yet again. So in our last video, it kind of ended on a sad note because we lost in multiple offers. Something that I never like to see happen with my clients. But there can only be one winner in every purchase. So from there, we looked at another unit within that complex that came up.
We are off on the road.
We're off on the road.
We're off on the road to go to a showing for a home. What's the home we're seeing today?
The first property that we're going to see is a townhouse in Varsity. It's large. It will be the largest square footage of properties that we've seen to date. So too big for what you need, but it's the only thing on the market. It's tenant occupied, so we have a little bit more guidelines and rules to abide by while we're at that property. I can't film in the unit because it's tenant occupied.
And we will respect their wishes.
Yes, you do want to be respectful of the seller or their tenant in this case. It was over budget, still needed some work. This one is huge. It is like 300 to 400 square feet larger.
This is the one that's like 400 or 500,000, right?
Well, I'd like to think it's 495.
Thanks for including me.
We love you.
We love you. We eliminated the Landmark Estate new listing that had come up in that particular complex. And we decided, actually you decided quite prudently, why don't we expand our search? So let's look wider into more communities. Let's be looking at half duplexes, detached housing, older housing. So actually bravo, because a lot of buyers are so fixated on this one little fantasy that they have, especially after you've lost in multiple offers and you had fallen in love with a property. Sometimes it's hard to start that next chapter. Now, one of the interesting things that I have found, when a buyer has lost a property that they really love, it's like breaking up with your boyfriend. The first property is your rebound property. It's that first pancake. And you're gonna try really hard to love it and make it feel like it is just every other property, and your heart is set on that next one because your heart's still broken. And I do realize it makes buyers a little bit more vulnerable. So I'm always cautious when I take a buyer to a property after they've lost the love of their life, that there's no pressure. We're just gonna go check out a property.
We're just going on a little speed date.
Yes.
We're gonna try before we buy.
See if there's some compatibility. Maybe we'll book a second showing after we see another couple properties, so this is not the rebound property. Liberty here was a champion, and she said, let's look at some older places and further out.
Guess the price champion 2023.
So we looked at some stuff. We found there was that one in Tuxedo, I believe it was. We are in Tuxedo. Tuxedo Park, inner city, in the north end of Tuxedo, on a 25-foot lot. And we are looking at a detached home, which is pretty much the same price as that townhouse was. But this one's from the 1970s, 79. It was original owners. You can tell grandma and grandpa had become great grandma and great grandpa and had raised kids and still had their ties to the farm in this little inner city house. But it was adorable, well loved, good bones, nice backyard.
They had truly not touched the place for 50 years. They literally have a little radio in the wall.
Oh, and this feels very original 1970s. This is like that 1979 broadloom. We used to call it broadloom. At least it's got a dishwasher and double sinks. And this is likely your little broom closet, because this was before Costco was invented. So we used to put in a broom closet instead of a pantry, and now nobody wants a broom closet because that means we might have to Swiffer. We want a pantry to put all our Costco run in.
Yeah, this is very, like, nothing has changed. What is it, that bar in the kitchen, the booth?
Oh, it had a booth. So it had like the banquette, but the old style from like the 60s, early 70s, because it had sort of that fake wood laminate tabletop.
Oh, this is like so cute and vintage.
You can even take a souvenir brochure. But we could see the potential. We thought, oh, well, this could be a nice little sitting room and we could blow out this wall and do this and this. And then the basement wasn't finished. And we thought, well, that's an opportunity. Like sometimes that's a great opportunity. We don't have to throw out all the stuff from 1958 and we can visualize it to be your home office with the soundproofing booth.
I'm kind of a sucker for the vintage look. You know, I do love a charming old-fashioned house.
Yeah.
I like character homes. I kind of like the little retro vibe it had going on. I think there were ways we could have preserved the history of the house and sort of that retro feeling, but also updated some things, made it work for us, you know, in the 2020s. But it was gonna be a massive gut, like a lot of work, like probably
which
6
translates
figures.
into money, which
Yeah.
we were on a tight budget. It was also a detached property on a 25-foot by 120 deep lot, so there would be mowing and shoveling and maintaining and garden beds, and it was a lot for a young professional, self-employed person. Times two, because through all of this, we've known Lucy was going to be a roommate, so it had to have some value to her as well.
Yeah, we had to have a place that would accommodate our personal needs and our pets, but also
the pets was
our
an issue.
business ideas, our work, our social lives, you know, everything. Like being close to everything, being young adults, like there's just like a lot of stuff that we wanted.
There was a long checklist. We knew that going in that this was going to have to be a specific property to accommodate the home-based business, Waffle the dog, 2 daughters that have very diverse paths and social needs, and of course some walkability, some fun, you know, and preferably low maintenance. The townhouse fit. It was the Cinderella slipper that fit. So we regrouped and went back into looking at attached row housing kind of situations. And then we landed on this one in Hillhurst, in Kensington, right in the heart of Kensington.
Hello, it's us. It's the Amazing Sisters. The Amazing Sisters, and we are on our way to see a house. And we actually, my mom and I already saw this house, and we very much like it, but there are a few issues, of course. The house is technically out of our budget, but and it has like so much work that needs to be done. We're just gonna see what it's worth today. So today is our second showing because we're kind of serious about it. It's gonna be a whole family affair, and yeah, that's the update.
I think we've kind of warmed up to the idea of it being like a bit of a fixer-upper, especially with our price range.
Yeah,
like,
that might be good.
Now we kind of want to do the renovations because then we'll be able to make it what we want.
Exactly. Stay tuned.
You could not get a better location if you were a bus stop. Like, it was an amazing location. Small complex, 8 units, and the 8 units were stacked 4 on the front, 4 on the back, and this one was on the back side facing south, right across from like this community fire pit area, and it was really nice.
Shops, restaurants, coffee, stores, like all this stuff.
Yeah, it's a dream come true.
It's, you know, drivable too.
But let's talk about the unit.
I love exposed brick.
This is your main living room. One of the things we talked about, Danny, is the TV could even be there, so that you're still facing fireplace and television, and you have a nice big seating area. You've got this beautiful big west window out looking to the park. And then this doesn't have to be the dining room, although it is considered the dining room. So the table for 6 would fit, but this could also be a little office nook too. This is actually what they would call a breakfast nook. In the other units, this is all gone. They've taken all of this out, so it flows much better. This particular unit has added these rafters so that they could bring a ceiling fan and light fixture down.
The biggest cost to removing this is, I think, that's all supported. There's probably a beam across, so you just remove it right here, all around. The biggest cost, I think, would be to rerun the electrical. I love those beams.
Yeah, everybody loves the beams.
So I see what you mean by the bedroom overlooks.
Yeah, so that's Lucy's bedroom up
That's
there.
interesting.
So I can shout down and say, good morning. This is a big kitchen.
Yeah,
That kind
Like,
of window.
The pictures didn't really do it justice how
That's
big
the
it is.
original.
I know, right?
You could make
Isn't it nice?
a nice.
Also,
like,
did you see this?
built
There's double
nice
ovens.
window.
Yeah, I did see.
That kitchen, you need absolutely nothing to do.
So Danny, what I would do is match these cabinets and add a peninsula through here just about halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway, because if we could move something with this wall, they can have stools here and
You
then.
can open the whole thing, which is not much, it's a small.
Making how responsible of you. Someone's got to be reasonable.
They did the entire first floor ceramic tile. Was it in the
Yeah, the whole
was it
main
in the
floor.
kitchen too?
The whole main floor.
You'd think a lot of these places would do tile like maybe in the kitchen and then would switch over to like a hardwood or like a
Vinyl plank
Yeah.
or laminate or something. Carpet, anything.
If you remove the tile, I would do hardwood throughout.
That's what I said. I want to get engineered hardwood planks, wide planks, do a very urban vibe, make it very New York chic, keep the brick.
$15 a square foot. That's how much it's gonna cost you.
Well, I didn't budget for that, but
Maybe
we'll.
12.
Anyway,
Oh, that's a beautiful room.
Yeah, I know, right?
because of Liberty's unique needs, this half would become her office. So she'd have her desk, she'd have her keyboard, she'd have her voiceover booth. We would get the cavity of this closet, get rid of these doors so the booth can fit partially in there.
Actually, open the whole thing and make that the booth.
Well, but she's got a cold air return, there's telephone jacks, and there's a linen closet on the other side. And I would like to see the linen closet kept.
Hello.
We are over.
You're an overhang.
Do you like the
over-
house?
Yeah, there's a little overhang here, that's why.
Go see the ensuite, Dad. I'm gonna go to my room.
This is the other big expense. This is
Walk-in
stuck in
closet and everything.
1978.
Wow.
So we would have to take down that wall, take down all the shelving. Actually, it's a complete gut. It's like a 50-gallon toilet tank. It's not water efficient. So we would make a nice glass shower stall, energy efficient toilet.
No, that's not that much money.
I
It's a small bathroom.
I know, that's what I said.
You can do this for 12 grand.
That's exactly what I said.
Am I on point or what? Like I'd remove the whole thing
We're gonna have
Yeah.
and you get a nice trendy piece of furniture
Yeah.
with maybe an above sink. Why are you putting this thing in my face?
Well, I'm just filming it.
Good thing I trimmed my mustache today and I put some product so it's nice and smooth.
You didn't know you were going to be a star today.
Look up. There's no snow. That's just how bright they are, but they're very small.
I know there's water damage. A pipe did burst in here. There is an insurance claim and it has been fixed and remediated, but I don't think they're fixing the cosmetic damage. I have asked about the roof because there is a lot of ceiling stains and I'm wondering if the roof had leaked at some point or the skylights. There was no kitchen window, but there was a skylight. But in order to make the skylight bring in natural light, there was a rise through the second floor, which is why there was no third bedroom, which also meant that bedroom at the back didn't have a window directly to outside. It had the use of the skylight. So you opened the window in the second bedroom, but it overlooked the dining kitchen area, and then up was the skylight.
So that's a much smaller bedroom.
So my suggestion, if it's permitted and structurally viable, is this wall and window are going to get pushed back to about where the ceiling fan is here. So we wouldn't do it all the way because I still want, number one, light still has to filter downstairs, but number two, if there's a fire and Lucy's here, she needs to be able to get out and get down to the main floor because there's no other way out. So how much do you think it would cost? Punch this wall back and put some electrical, new window, halfway, reinforce the floorboards. We'd have to put some flooring in there. I would probably do something like a laminate or...
I would say probably 10. It's probably 10.
Okay, that's not what I
Okay,
wanted
but
to
I can
hear,
do
but
labor
okay,
also,
I will
please.
add it to the list. Well, somebody figured out a way to get a ceiling fan in here that would not pass code.
It's 25 years old.
Yeah.
That's not cold.
Yeah, smoke detectors should be replaced about every 10 years. As soon as they start to yellow, that's a sign they need to be changed. But it was an older structure again. They had done some tweaking to it probably in the 80s, but it needed an overhaul.
You can make a nice entertainment area.
No,
you could
this
do a
is the
bathroom,
only
a
window.
bedroom right here.
This has to be the bedroom because this is where the window is. It was a little bit above grade, like they were big basement windows, so there was some positives in that regard.
It's only like 4 feet below grade here. This would be a legal bedroom.
Apparently there's a 3-piece rough in here.
This is your bathroom right here.
Well, they have a sink here, so there's a sink somewhere. The other bathrooms are hooked to this. So you would, and this makes more sense to have it back here where there's no window. Although from the bedroom to this bathroom.
That worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
Someone replaced something and used a friend.
The only other sucky thing about this for me is that I would still have to take waffle out every day.
No, and you're not really getting that anywhere. Even in varsity, you had a deck. You couldn't just open the door and let her out.
Yeah, I could.
I don't know if I want this kid as a tenant.
So that's
I definitely am collecting a security
make
deposit
this-
from this one.
You close the whole thing all the way across, and that's your bathroom. And right off your bathroom is your laundry room and it's your mechanical room. You leave all of that open, just do a bathroom on that side. That would not be that much money to develop.
So you like this house?
I really like
When I was on FaceTime and with you, and I was like, oh my god,
You're like, I love it.
And you were like, let me see it first. Let me see it first.
No, I really like it. I mean, there's a lot of money to be spent on it.
I see it in my head how nice it could be.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I could get $800 for down here.
Yeah,
so
'cause
they
you
would
have,
come
you
from
have
the
your
front
full
door.
bathroom, laundry,
Yeah.
living room.
Well, and we would have
Like
the bedroom here,
family room
and then
and
I'd
bedroom.
probably do like a little kitchenette bar thing.
You could.
You know, space for the TV. I mean, if we rented it as a separate apartment, it's worth even more.
Except that
Next-
it doesn't have a separate door.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my thing with it. It sounds like you're putting together an entire studio apartment, but then they're still gonna have to use the same door as us.
The door would have to be here, like in a diagonal door.
Oh,
And you basically block this entire thing. Same entrance.
So this is the only
But you go
communal.
down.
Oh, and then you put a door here with a lock. Oh my god,
You
that's
lock
kind of
this,
brilliant.
you
Yeah,
lock-
but
And then you just share the front
We
entrance.
still need the laundry though. We still need the laundry downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would still need to cross paths.
It would be really difficult to make this its own apartment.
I think there's
Come sit down.
there's about $60,000 to $70,000 of renovation to be done on stuff you would want right now.
Yeah. Well, I
And
didn't
then
even add the
add
floor.
30 for the basement, so that's 100. Making it look pretty modern and functional is about 100 grand. This is a really trendy neighborhood now.
Yeah.
Oh, you think?
Here you're paying more because you're in Kensington, even if it's not as nice.
Yeah.
Location, location, location. You can't just transplant a house somewhere else. I almost feel like it's more worth it to do the work in a good location than
Oh, definitely.
get a better place.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you hear that? Because that's what I wanted to hear. If there's any noise
Oh,
transfer.
Like you don't hear voices
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
Also,
you
I'm not
just-
gonna lie, Lib, I love you to death, but there's no one louder than Lib, so.
The unit was less than perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we loved it.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Like I loved the place. I know you had reservations.
It had an artsy vibe. My first and immediate reservation is from where it was is it had 3 party walls.
Am I not this back room? Can't I just put a window on that wall?
If you want to look into your neighbor in unit 2. And normally townhouses would only have 2 party walls. Usually one on one side, one on
So
the
you
other.
would have windows in the front and windows in the back. But
Yes.
this one only had one wall of windows.
And so there was only one door in, one door out. That was my other concern because through it all, we've talked about developing a basement into your home office studio. And so I want to make sure that you have a safe exit. It was only 2 bedrooms up, so we were going to have to carve out that office space in the basement. There was no choice. The basement was going to have to be usable square footage. There was no garage.
She wanted to redo all the floors.
Well, the main was all ceramic tile, like early 80s ceramic tile.
I loved the primary bedroom.
The primary bedroom was a nice layout. That ensuite was probably the most hideous ensuite I've ever seen. The other thing is there was only 1 stall per unit, only 8 stalls in the complex, so one of them was going to have to park on the street. It's a very difficult part of town to find parking on the street regularly. The other issue that you're going to have is parking. There's only 1 stall per unit, and then whoever else has a car has to find the street. You get the parking permit from the city, and it's free, and you can register friends when they come to visit. But in the meantime, it's a scramble. You're not guaranteed there's going to be a parking spot. So at Christmas time, you park and you stay parked. But it was really funky and in a fabulous location, and we could work the price. So the one next door sold for $534. The basement was kind of old, but had a little kitchen and
But
had
it
a
was
bedroom.
done.
But it had a
So you
bathroom and it had a bedroom.
You can't really pay more than $425 for it.
Well, I don't even want to pay that. It is got to be worth at least $100,000 less.
You need to be done all in for 500 if you want this to be an investment. At the price that they're at right now, they're grossly over what I think
Yeah.
we should
Well,
be paying
I
for.
think we should pay like
Like,
$415 for
they're
it.
at least 25 above what I would want to pay.
The location was so divine. The complex was kind of funky, that artsy in a good way. So there was some. So we took a second viewing. I think Dad and I were going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. We ran some numbers. We kind of came up with a price. I thought, well, we're sort of within the window if the seller was willing to compromise. But of course, whenever you're buying a condominium, you're also buying into the condominium corporation. So you want to make sure they have money. You want to make sure they're well run. This one, being only 8 units, was a self-managed complex, which is fine. We reviewed some of the meat and potatoes together and realized there's not a lot of money in this complex. $13,000 for a 50-year-old complex with 8 units is poverty-stricken. That is really, really low. I was shocked. And that's not the kind of complex that I would like to personally own in or have somebody I represent buy into, because that just reeks of special assessments, cash calls, all that kind of stuff down the road, because they haven't been saving for the rainy day. That made me super nervous. I was already on the fence, and it wouldn't have mattered if this was my buyer, my family and kin, or somebody else. I would have not recommended writing on this complex until the condo board had sorted things out and everybody had ponied up some more money. Down the road, I'm hoping that they kind of get a better grip on how to manage their complex, because it is a great location.
Well, the place is still on the market, so.
And the place is still on the market, and here we are. Like, that was 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And it's been on the market.
They've dropped the price $5,000.
Yeah, I think they dropped the price $5,000. We had pretty much at that point seen absolutely everything on the market in every type.
We looked at everything in our price range, our neighborhoods, in different types of housing. We were willing to go a little up for the good stuff. We were willing to go a little down for the fixer-uppers. Like, we were really out there fishing for our house.
And then one came on the market in Renfrew, Unit 2. It's nice and bright. So it's got an east window, a south window. Oh, look, they put quartz countertops on. They've staged it. I would probably lose this and put an island. It's cheap maple cabinets, but they're in great shape. Oh, look at the pantry.
Light in the pantry.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of this. I think this is like a vinyl wallpaper. You might be able to pull that off and put some real tile up.
Yeah.
Good size.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Good size. And you know, you could paint these cabinets. Okay, so far so good. There's some storage under the stairs.
Ooh, Lucy, your reading nook.
Oh my hardwood floors, that's nice.
That is nice.
And then here's the living room.
You're right, it's getting good light even though the lights aren't on. Oh wait, the light is on.
The reason they staged that with a kitchen table there and not an island is because there's nowhere to put a table. And you guys actually have a table.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, and then there's a 2-piece bath back here. Pretty big 2-piece bath. And there's a closet here.
Oh.
So there is a little balcony here.
Oh yeah, Lucy, by the way, we don't actually have a yard.
So you could put a gate here for the dog.
Oh yeah, so that the dog could be out on the deck, but maybe
And
not.
you could have a little pea pad out here for her. And this would be your barbecue spot.
This is like a really nice little peaceful.
And this is west, so you get some nice sun here.
Ooh, yeah. I like it. Nice to have a back alley.
Knockdown ceiling. It was built in 2003, but this is your whole main floor. There's not a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Should we go upstairs?
yeah. The master. It's nice. I like it.
Oh, I like it too.
I like that they even frosted the windows so that you just get privacy, but then you still get the view.
That's kind of awesome.
Okay, closet.
Look, I'm in the closet.
This is warped a bit.
Oh, this is cute. I love the little plant they put in the shower.
Just to give it some depth.
Yep.
It's in good shape. You've got laundry. You've got a pocket door.
Oh, pocket door.
Oh, this is how you get into the bathroom.
Oh, that's so funny. So we have a little bit of storage here. Nice little laundry room. That's so funny that the bathroom's in the laundry room.
Actually, I actually really like this. These would have to be painted. That's MDF. There's really not a lot of work to do here. There's new.
No, yeah, I was gonna
here.
say.
There's central vac.
You wanted like
Oh no.
what?
Her bed's not gonna fit in either of these rooms. This is actually the office. This is
Yeah, this
teeny
is smaller.
This is teeny tiny. This is, and it's a triangle. Like, it's a half square.
Yeah, it's not the full room.
Yeah, so you can't get a full bed in here. This has to be the office. So then they staged this as the office, which tells me it's the same size.
Oh, this one's so much brighter.
This one's brighter. It's a bit bigger. I think Lucy's going to be disappointed. I love the whole black and white theme that they did in here. I think it's
I love the staging.
I love the staging. It's totally great. I love all the sunshine. There has been an animal in here, I think, at some point, or a kid or somebody. Beautiful.
This is such a nice light, such a nice little view. Yeah. Private.
Yeah.
I do love this room. I think Lucy would love this room if she was okay with it being small.
She would get the closet in the other room as well, so she would and they did put closet organizers.
Down to the partial basement?
Okay, so the good news is this is where you come in.
Okay. Oh, there's the garage. This is the boiler room, I assume?
Yeah, this is the furnace. Let's check it out.
It's like eerily quiet in here.
Well, I'm guessing this is where your voiceover booth might have to go, because I haven't seen a space for it otherwise. And this is more storage under here.
Oh, this is good storage though. This is Lucy's reading nook.
There is no reading nook. There is no, well, we have a bit of an office upstairs. That was a fun unit. And Lucy saw it first. She got the email notification first. And in a panic, sent us a note saying, I think we need to offer $40,000 over asking.
Yeah.
And you guys need to go see it right away. She was in Edmonton.
She had a little bit of like lost the townhouse trauma where she was ready to just like splurge.
Of course, it's not her money.
No,
Let's
not
put
at
that out. She's going to be a roommate / tenant.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for her.
This unit came up. It was number 2, so it was on the back side of the building. It had like it was a really cute little unit.
It was immaculate. You could eat off those hardwood floors. They were immaculate, and everything
was really cute.
It was super cute, and it had a nice layout. And the primary bedroom was nice. You could absolutely fit a desk in there.
The primary bedroom was really nice. The other bedrooms were small.
They were meant to be little son and daughter, little kid kind of bedrooms. They were not meant as roommate bedrooms.
Even were talking about like if we turned one of the bedrooms into an office, then Lucy would be able to like maybe put some of her stuff into the other closet too, because she just has a lot of stuff. So it just wasn't really enough space in the 2 bedrooms.
And then we went downstairs and we were looking at the living room, and I all of a sudden said, and where's the voiceover booth going? Anyway, then we discovered that the listing had said it had a basement, and it said it was partially finished. But they probably should have said there's a partial basement. Yeah. There was no room for a voiceover booth or a desk or anything. No. And really the closet down there wasn't going to be room enough for 2 young women to have all their gear.
We loved the place, but we weren't the right buyers for it. I felt personally, I know you thought it would be a great bachelor pad. I agree with that. And I also think like a couple could have lived there, like the type that were like thinking of starting a family soon, like, or had like a little baby or like 2 like young toddlers.
5 to 10 year plan for sure.
Yeah, but it's the type of place that you sell when your kids start going to school. You know, like, and it's great. Like, it caters to a certain type of buyer, certain type of need people have within their lifespan, but it just wasn't quite right for us.
It was significantly cheaper than a lot of the townhouses we had seen, which is what caught everybody's attention. So it was $360,000. I reached out to the agent because I thought, well, I like this complex. Do they take the dog? Like, that was always my first question with all of these complexes.
Do they take a dog?
Will you take Waffle? And they allowed dogs under 30 pounds. And then the realtor told me she was going to present offers on the Saturday. This was a Thursday. And I said, okay, well, can you give me an idea? Do they have money in the reserve fund? You know, how are they managed? Because again, this complex was self-managed, but there was only 4 units this time. So we wanted to make sure the 4 units had been kicking into the kitty so that there was some money. And the complex was 2002, 2003. So it was a little bit newer, but first generation. So we knew the roof was going to be coming up on 20 years, the furnace 20 years, like everything's going to come into that first cycle. So we had to make sure they had some money. So by the time she got back to me on the Friday, it was already conditionally sold. So we didn't even get an opportunity to write on it, which was okay because we knew
but it went fast and it sold over asking.
Oh, it sold over Lucy's asking.
Yep.
So Lucy had said, let's throw 40 grand at it, which would have made it 400,000, and it sold for 405.
Yeah, so people were really willing to spend to be in Renfrew, in the inner city, in this cute little apartment that didn't really need much work, or I guess condo.
Yeah. And this was the first week of January 2023. So happy New Year. The market has not changed. It's only heated up even more, and here we go again.
It was like the first new listing of the new year.
Yeah. Me being the little researcher that I am, I went online and saw that one of the other units in this complex had previously come up for sale in 2022 and failed to sell. And it looked decent. It was much larger and it had a full basement. They have double car garages, 2 double car garages that are sort of underneath the units, and they are shared. And we had noticed when we went in there, because the unit 2 that we saw was vacant. There's nothing in it. Nobody parked in it because these 2 units were vacant. So I suspected this other unit was going to come up on the market.
We figured it was vacant for sure.
Yeah.
It had already listed before. It was the prices it had listed for in the past were a bit out of our range, but we were thinking, if it didn't sell the first time, like, what are they going to do?
They might be a little bit more competitive.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I know there was 20, 30 showings in 2 days. They got 3 offers that were bully offers the day before they were even presenting offers that were satisfactory enough for the seller to accept it, that it told me there were a lot of buyers right now that had regrouped over Christmas, and like 2023 is our year. So we were already feeling a little pushed around and beat up and punched in the face in 2022. And here we go in 2023. We don't have any more money than we did in 2022. And here we go again. Lo and behold, Unit 1 came on the market just before your birthday. And we went and saw it. All of a sudden, I don't know if it was Lucy or me first that was like, oh my gosh, the other unit came on the market. So Liv and I were on top of it. We
really wanted to see that front unit.
Yeah.
And we went right away.
We got there right away and we were like, this is it. All right.
Here we are.
All right, can I turn on some lights now?
Mom and I gotta say, we believed in that unit. We saw it. And we were like, this is a lovely place.
And it did not show well. Oh, so this one I think is burnt out because that should have been picked up on this fixture. The sconces must have a different... There we go. Someone had put this darker gray laminate over top the hardwood floors. Half the bulbs were burnt out, so there wasn't a lot of terrific light.
And the electrical itself was just in bad shape.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it had 9-foot ceilings, knockdown finish. We knew that there was some real wood elements because we had seen the other unit and they were all done the same, and that one had all the wood elements. This is very narrow, so your table would have to go this way in front of the fire, and this is your living room. This feels smaller on the main floor than the one next door.
Really?
Yeah, the main floor feels smaller than the other one.
I was gonna say it feels the same.
Oh, I feel like, I remember...
But also the other one had furniture in it.
Well, here's the reading nook.
Oh, that is one hell of a reading nook. If Lucy were here.
Yeah, it's a nice reading nook. Let's see if we... Why do they have a fan here? Okay, look.
That is one hell of a reading nook.
Yeah,
we could get a cute little window seat in there.
Well, you've got the vent and you've got the central vac. I'd probably put 2 comfy chairs and a little drum table.
Yeah.
And you have a little nook here, a little niche that you could actually put in some shelving. So this would be the reading nook.
There was this breakfast nook, and it had those like the cubes that have the privacy glass
block windows.
But I loved the vibe it gave. Like, it was kind of like a pretty window to me, and there was kind of an arch, and it was kind of pushed out.
So that push out is called a cantilever.
A cantilever.
So it was cantilevered out. But the kitchen cabinets were falling apart. The granite was sort of this rosé, pinky kind.
It was ugly.
It was ugly.
The kitchen was ugly and also
dilapidated. The floors were
dilapidated.
damaged. It was the original oven. This is why it's not selling.
The cupboards? Or
look at them.
Ooh.
They're in terrible shape.
Yeah, this one looks uneven.
They're in terrible, terrible shape. I don't know if they had a kid or a dog or what. Look at that. The granite does not match the backsplash. And then they've got the little TV there. Why do you need it if you put a TV over your fireplace?
No idea.
Let's think about this floor plan. Where does the TV go? If this is the dining room, you can't put the TV over the fireplace. And then in the living room, there's a window, but the wall you can't put the TV on. There's some fundamental flaws in this floor plan.
Yeah, you'd have to walk through the living room to get to the dining room, or you'd have to have a living room without a TV. And if you put the back of the couch here, then you might be obscuring the door.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that'll make it feel really small too.
The other floor plan in Unit 2, even though it was smaller, was far more functional. And that's why you can't live and die by your square footage.
I think the reading nook is actually supposed to be the dining room.
It's a needed area.
Yeah.
Because you can put bar stools there. I mean, this kitchen needs to be gutted, and then you could totally reconfigure this space a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of having sort of that peninsula, you could have it even come down a little bit more and then do an island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is taking some wear and tear. Knock down ceiling. 9-foot ceilings. Okay, let's go upstairs and see what surprises it holds. I hate bifold doors. They're the bane of my existence. And probably every realtor, because how many times have we opened a door and it gets stuck and we can't get it closed? But in this particular case, it's particularly annoying because you've got 4 little bifold doors, but if you look in the closet, this whole thing could be opened up. So I would tear that all out, open it up.
Honestly, yeah, that's kind of what it looks like it should be.
It's a complicated storage system. I mean, it's one thing to put, ooh, nice deep linen closet. You can get a vacuum.
You could get a vacuum.
Vacuum. There's a nice linen closet. Actually, you could get your luggage in here too.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
Because you don't have that many
to
linen.
preface it, this is the laundry room, and we're convinced we could get luggage in here.
Well, we would stack the washer dryer, move it over, put some storage shelving in there, and yes, you could get some luggage in there so you don't have to go down to the basement every time you need to pack or unpack. A 4-piece bathroom.
She would like
It's
it.
okay. You know, they did some cheapy updates. Obviously, that's not hinged correctly. They bought the cheapest possible cabinetry.
So basically you need to redo every cabinet and closet in this entire house.
Yeah, this is what mistakes some people make. They buy a cheap cabinet box, thinking they're saving money, and then they throw a big ass heavy piece of stone on top of it. The cheap cabinets can't bear the weight of the heavy ass stone. That's just a science physics thing.
Science
And
physics
so
thing.
It can throw it off. And this is like, I don't even think this is MDF. Like, I think it's one below MDF. This is the only thing that's counter supporting it. It's fine for now, but you own it. It's going to be taking up, long-term wear and tear. Do it right the first time, people. And really, the difference of that cabinet to a nice cabinet is not going to be much more money. So why wouldn't you put a little bit more money knowing it's
Knowing it's going to last and it's going to up your
Yeah.
property value
Yeah.
too.
So this would be Miss Lucy's room.
No, I think the other one would be, this would be the office.
The for sale sign's being put up
Right now?
right now.
Hi, for sale sign guy.
Yeah, if you ever want to know how the T-bar goes in, they put this piece of rebar steel in, even in the frozen when it's deep freeze, they still get these signs in. They don't always get them back out. Anyway, so they put the metal in and then they thread on the white T-bar, so he's doing the banging first. And as realtors, we actually hire people to come out and do this. We don't do this on our own. Although I have seen there is one realtor who works in the Tri-Wood area, no names mentioned, he puts his own signs up.
When we went upstairs, we actually went up onto this second floor and we thought that the bigger bedroom we saw was the primary bedroom. And my mom was like, oh, I don't know, there's no ensuite. It's big, it's nice, there's closet space, although you didn't like the closets. But
I did the little peekaboo thing.
yeah.
Go the other side.
Oh my gosh.
Go the other side.
Ah! Wait, go to the other side. Oh Oh my gosh, Mom. But then we went up onto the 3rd floor to the loft and we realized...
Because somebody did not read the description that there was a loft.
And we realized that there was this huge, beautiful loft, primary bedroom with an ensuite and a walk-in closet
All
and
separate.
a vaulted ceiling.
Yeah, with the dormer out, with a beautiful view.
Yeah.
That was all separate.
There we go. You guys didn't hear it, but I just screamed.
Yes, this is certainly the highlight of this property, is this loft. So all the cheap cabinetry and mishmashed, you know, fixer-upper stuff, old carpet kind of, you know, you forget about it when you come into here because this is a beautiful loft space. This is definitely,
My artist loft.
yeah, this is an artist loft. It's nice and quiet up here too. It's got potential.
Oh, so much
There's
potential.
even some extra storage in here. So I wouldn't get too attached to the beautiful sunlight and view on this window.
Don't say that.
Well, because we're looking at, you know, what, 1930 house next door? 1920s?
You think it might get knocked down?
These 3 houses? Oh yeah, someone's gonna come along and buy them up one day.
And like turn them into a condo?
Not a building, because there's a height restriction in this area, but I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up with, you know,
Townhouses?
or depending on the size of the lots, you may get half duplexes. I mean, one of them's using the fireplace right now. And this one, they've put some super extra loving care into it. They're not going to want it bulldozed.
Yeah.
I would keep this as a contender just because the space is so beautiful.
I love
They have a
it.
key. They locked this, so they must have rented it one time. Oh, so here's your closet.
Is it the voiceover booth closet?
It is literally a voiceover booth closet.
Oh,
This is the crawl space to the attic. in case you-
I get a crawl space to the attic?
Not unless you want to hang out in there, but it's not like a very viable Harry Potter room. It's not. But it is, and actually it needs to be insulated.
So Liberty would have her floor, Lucy would have her floor, and then the other freaky thing is it had a basement.
That was like finished.
Yeah, and at one point we were like, where's the door to the garage? Because in the other unit, you went down the basement, there was no basement, that was the door to the garage.
And my mom was even saying like, ooh, like if there's a basement, like you're gonna have to like bring in your groceries and do all these stairs and
And
you
then
know it's a long walk.
we couldn't find the door. And then we went back to the main floor and tucked in around behind the kitchen. There's 3 steps down and there's the door to your garage. And
It's
you had
right in the kitchen.
So you're bringing your groceries right into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then the powder room was right there. And
Yeah.
because we were so excited.
So we
were like,
loved the
going through-
setup.
So it needed work. And the price was a little high. We could have got some of the work in for that price, but we were like, well. So then we went back. I went back with Dad and Lucy, and both of them hated it. They were like, there's so many stairs, there's so much work. They dropped the price 20 grand. And you and I decided, let's go take another look.
And we had waited because at the time the price was what, $450?
$450.
Because we loved it, but again, Lucy and Dad weren't into it, and it was high. It was on the upper end of our budget, and for the work that we needed to put into it, we just didn't think we could swing it.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the price.
And then they dropped the price.
They dropped the price to where my mom said she would want to offer.
Yeah, they dropped it to $429.9, and I had said all along, I think this is worth $420, $425. Once you price it in that sweet spot and people are already thinking there, they're going to start bidding and you're going to start countering and you're going to end up with what you want. So it never pays to overprice because everybody thinks, oh, well, I can't offer $420 when it's $450 because that's going to be insulting and they're not ready to hear that.
Lucy, I am in the hospital. So, you might be wondering how I got here. Well, it all started in my gymnastics class on Wednesday, January 11th, where an unfortunate accident landed me in the hospital with a shattered ankle. After a full night waiting in the ER, I was told that I was going to wait around until surgery, not eat anything, and take lots of pain medications. Luckily, I was able to get into surgery on my 25th birthday, Saturday, January 14th, and it went great. I have 2 plates and 11 screws in my ankle, and I'm super grateful that my support system was there helping me the entire week. So basically, everything's Gucci, sort of. I can't walk, but that's cool. I'm having a lot of fun on my scooter. Anyway, back to the video.
It was probably pure divinity that in the week that followed, with a price drop, with nothing else on the market, and our family having to focus our attention on Liberty and the ankle, which was a horrendous, I mean, she shattered her ankle, broken in 6 places, had to wait 3 days for surgery, can't put weight on it. And I kept thinking, well, it's a good thing we didn't buy that townhouse because there was a lot of stairs. and in the meantime, nothing else came on the market. And and then her 25th birthday, she was having surgery.
Yeah, so I broke my ankle on the 11th, and I had surgery and my 25th birthday on January 14th.
So now we have a house guest. We have a kid in the hospital. We have a townhouse that's within reach, but we can't focus on that right now. And that often happens. I often have clients, someone passes away, a husband gets called out of town, and they need both of them on board before they can sign on the dotted line. And things just get put on hold. And often you lose the property. So we were like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Something will come along. And then I think it was when you came out of surgery, you were like, I still really like that property. That's the one.
I was on enough pain medication that I had a spiritual revelation.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to live in Renfrew.
Yeah. In that townhouse, unit 1. I said, well, let's get Mike out there. Let's kind of see how much it's going to cost and where we can scale back.
And was that visit number 3?
I think 3 or 4. I lost count.
We had multiple showings. And that weekend,
that whole time's a blur. Like between your ankle and lack of sleep. And
yeah. I mean, you stayed up. My mommy stayed in the hospital with me on the night I broke my ankle until 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And she came back and visited me every day and brought my sister and my boyfriend and sometimes begrudgingly my dad.
Yeah, because Lucy came home from Edmonton through all of this.
Lucy, I called Lucy. We didn't want to worry her the night before because, she's...
Well, we didn't know what was happening. We just knew your foot was facing the wrong way. And
I called her the next day, and because she was texting me, and she was like, Liberty, something is wrong. I can't get a hold of mom or dad. I'm freaking out. And I was like, I know this sounds crazy, but mom and dad are asleep right now. And it's because I broke my ankle. And then I called her on the phone, and I told her, and she gasped. And then I just heard a silence on the line, and I was like, Lucy, are you okay? And she was crying. And she was like... That's so sad for you. Because I had weightlifting competitions coming up, gymnastics competition over the summer, trips to Banff, friends visiting me from the U.S., boyfriend visiting me from the U.S., birthday plans on the weekend, which my mom was still convinced I was going to be able to do.
Yeah, I was literally in the hospital the night before going, well, I guess I should cancel that casino reservation. I live in the land of denial fairly frequently, and I was sleep deprived.
Yeah.
That is one of life happenings that diverts your attention.
It gets you away from real estate because sometimes your shattered ankle is more important.
Yeah. So finally, Mike and I went through, we looked at the numbers, looked at what needed to be done, and he thought it was a great place. He was team live and val.
Yeah, when Mike went through, I'm not going to lie, for me personally, it revived my hope that we might offer on it because Mike approved of it and we really trust Mike's opinion. So when he was pro that house, I was like, bingo, thank you, Mike.
I reached out to the realtor and I said, I have a client with some interest. I had another client that wanted to look at it. It's the only thing on the market. And she sends me back this email that says, oh, well, we already got an offer on it and the seller has countered and we have another offer coming in. And I was like, what? And you didn't tell me? I've been going through 4 times. We had to make some decisions and we thought...
Sorry, that's so wild to me that the realtor had a potential buyer who saw the house 3 or 4 times and was asking constant questions. I mean, we were asking about whether we could develop the front lawn, whether my sister could have her dog, about the history of the property, about the flooring, everything. And we had seen it multiple times and we were clearly interested, and she didn't tell us that there were 2 other offers and that we would be competing that weekend. That they'd already rejected one.
Well, they countered. So they hadn't... But the fact that they countered kind of told me someone had probably lowballed them because it had been sitting, it was vacant. Yeah. They dropped the price really quickly. So they listed it, and within a week they dropped the price, 20 grand. So this was it. The seller had made up her mind. She is selling this property. So I had these other clients interested, and I said to them, did you want to write an offer sight unseen? And they were like, no way. So we decided, well, let's throw our hat in the ring. We're going to lose it again. So here we go. Let's write an offer. So we already knew a lot about the condo board from the other unit. So I knew I just needed permission for the dog. And we already decided we were renovating. and I'd already had both my husband Danny and a contractor look at it, so I waived the home inspection. I thought, if there's a problem, we're fixing it. The thing's 20 years old. We know there's going to be some issues. We're fixing it. And then we were able to go in with no financing, so we could write a really clean offer, and we could put in just subject to the sale, or subject to the permission of the dog. Sale of the dog. Can you imagine? That's so lawful. I wonder how much we'd get for her. Just subject to permission of the dog residing in the property. So we did all of that, and I get a phone call. I find out the seller now lives in New Jersey, and she's a new mom, and she is as sleep deprived as the rest of us. Welcome to the club. So we find out that the offers are being presented quite early in the morning on Saturday morning. And so we had to wait. And then I'm in the car the next morning. I had a 10 o'clock appointment with clients, and literally 5 to 10, the phone rings, and it's the realtor saying, so we have the 2 offers that came in. The one that had originally written that they countered, they didn't come back. So they obviously were trying to steal the property. But she had the other offer did come in. And she had a third offer that they were going in at 10 o'clock, and if they liked it, they were writing an offer. So she said, but the seller was really keen to work with one of our offers, and in particular mine, because it was clean, no conditions. But it was the same price as the other one and the same closing as the other one, and she couldn't differentiate them. So I offered to throw some more money at the problem, because that's what we do in real estate.
Just throw some money at it.
Yeah, so we were at 420, and we said, well, I said, my daughter can't lose this house. You don't understand. She's shattered her ankle. I cannot even imagine taking her house hunting. And we were having an impending deadline. She needed a place to move into for April. And so we're running out of time. So I'm like, I can't let her lose this house. At first I said 2,200. I'd give her another $2,000 or something.
Yeah, you told us you were doing like 422 500, and
Yeah,
we were like, okay, that's fine. And then I get a text from my mom going, I wrote an offer for 425.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. Because I thought, what's it worth? What is it worth, not just as a real estate investment? What's it worth for our time, our energy, our money, our ankle? I knew this was her place. And you get that feeling. Our buyers get those feelings when they walk through the door. And as realtors, that's our job. So I took the liberty of saying, well, we can cut out the powder room and add $5,000, and here we go and make it happen. So we did, and guess what? We won! Yeah! And actually, the really funny part was, while we were doing this sort of, okay, I'm going to throw more money at it, another offer came in for $435,000.
So way more than us.
$10,000 more than us, but they had condition of financing, condition of the condo doc review, condition of the home inspection, and the realtor was driving the listing agent nuts with all his questions and all his, I guess, aggressive bullying to get his buyer the house. And in the end, she said her seller was a mom, and she knew a mom and daughter were buying this property together, and the sister was going to live in it, and she knew it was cash. So she was like, I would rather sell to them. And we knew the dog was going to be approved. It was just a matter of time. It took 2 days to get that dog approved.
And they love the dog.
They love the dog. So in the end, we were competing again. We were much more successful. Obviously, we got the property this time. And now we're embarking on a new chapter of renovating that city townhouse in sort of an urban New York vibe. So we're actually having a lot of fun. And since she has been a little bit at a commission, not running around doing all her working out and everything
I've
else.
not been doing many backflips lately.
Yeah, we have discovered there's a lot of supply stores, so tile, flooring, paint. Home Depot is great accessibility. We have a little knee scooter that we can take her out. So she's been getting her exercise in a different way, and she has come to appreciate the home hardware store in a whole new way. So stay tuned, because we're going to show you some before and afters, and you're going to get to watch as little Miss Liberty here learns how to paint, demo, finishing, all this great stuff.
All that goes into buying a fixer-upper and becoming a homeowner.
Yes, and you're going to watch the transformation of Casabella, which is the name of the complex, Unit 1, get a new lease on life. But it's going to be a budget-friendly way to look at something when you're looking at property, to make it your own and realize it's not that difficult. And it's actually not that expensive if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and enlist your family members, even if they have a broken ankle. So we're going to give you some tips and tricks, and you're going to get to see us make a transformation to a very personal residence for my girls. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks as we unveil what we bought and what we're going to do with it. And until next time, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'd love to hear all your comments on this crazy, wild story and your ideas and even predictions of what we're going to do with this great Renfrew urban townhouse. Thanks for watching. See you next time.